As we're traveling together through the book of Proverbs, we realize that almost everything is connected one way or the other to wisdom. That is the theme of Proverbs. God is giving us good, practical, godly wisdom through the writings of Solomon in these, mostly, there's a few other authors here, but mostly Solomon in the area of wisdom. And one of the ways in which we receive wisdom is instruction and advice from other people. It's very important that we receive good instruction, good advice, good counsel, because we don't have it all together ourselves. And so as we think about that, in 15:22, it says, "Without consultation, plans are frustrated, but with many counselors they succeed." And so he says here, look, we need to have iron sharpening iron. We need to have people that will challenge our thinking. We need to have people that will rebuke us at times. We need to have people that just sharpen the way we think. And so we have this, that many counselors will help us be successful in almost any endeavor of life. But keep in mind, as we think about counselors, keep in mind the source. In chapter 12 and verse 5, it says, "The thoughts of the righteous are just, but the counsels of the wicked are deceitful." And so make sure you're going to people that you should be going to when you're seeking counsel. I have observed with great horror at times over the years as a pastor to watch people who are having an issue. Maybe it's raising children or marital issues or whatever it might be. And they go and seek counsel from people who have failed in those very areas. I don't know how many times I've seen someone who is facing marital problems go to someone who's been divorced and has failed in their marriage and seek advice from that particular person. Now, I don't know the circumstances of that individual they're talking to, but wouldn't it be wiser to seek someone who has been successful at whatever they have endeavored to do? And so it calls for us looking at the source. Go to people that understand the ways of God and the wisdom of God. I like what A.W. Tozer said once, listen to no man who does not listen to God. And so that's good foundational advice right there. Listen to no one who does not listen to God. As we think of the source, and as we get counsel from people, we need to be careful that as people talk to us, that we don't get defensive. And that will pretty much short circuit people wanting to talk to us about the things of the Lord or about our own particular life as such. In chapter 27 and verses 5 and 6 of Proverbs, it says this, "Better is open rebuke than love that is concealed. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but deceitful are the kisses of an enemy." We need to make sure we don't get defensive when someone comes and talks to us, maybe points out a weakness or a blind spot in our lives, or simply challenges the way we're thinking or coming across. Our natural bent is to get defensive. Our natural bent is to get our backs up and begin to challenge what this person is saying, instead of realizing that they came to us hopefully out of love, in an attempt to help us with some area of our lives. And even if they're wrong, it cost them a great deal to come to us. And we need to not be defensive. We need to see where they might be right and where they might be able to help us. With that in mind, we think in going back to chapter 15 for a moment, that if we listen to wise counsel, we're listening to people who do have the wisdom of God, what should we expect? Well, on the one hand, we should expect success. We read in verse 22, but with many counselors, they succeed. Now, this is not a blanket statement that we'll always succeed at everything we try if we listen to good counsel. Even the best of counselors, except for God, can be wrong. And in addition to that, no one knows the future. And so what might have been a good plan and good advice might fall apart due to various circumstances. But on the whole, overall, and that's what Proverbs are, general teachings, general truths, general ways of living that are wise. On the whole, you'll be much more successful by seeking out good advice. Secondly, in verse 32, it says that you will have understanding. He who neglects discipline despises himself, but he who listens to reproof acquires understanding. Do you want to understand? You want to understand life, understand God, understand the ways of wisdom? Then be willing to listen to those who offer that to us. Over in 1920, it also tells us something else. It says, "Listen to counsel and accept discipline, that you may be wise the rest of your days." You want wisdom? listen to good counsel. There is a warning that we would leave you with today in chapter 29, verse 1. Here's this warning. A man who hardens his neck after much reproof will suddenly be broken without remedy. And so the warning here is if you're going to ignore advice and counsel, especially biblical advice and wisdom, then you are putting yourself in a very dangerous situation and you could be broken beyond remedy. These are wise words. These are things worth contemplating as we travel down this highway of the Scriptures together.